Hey YouTube! Hold on a second. Sarah here. Ow! Oh my god, I fucking pulled a muscle on my knee now. Hurt. But I'm gonna teach you my Jazzy Girl solo from the BDC company in Blasbury, the Blasbury Dance Center. It's a jazz solo called Jazzy Girl. Yeah, but this is gonna be a short video because my phone is soon gonna die. And I just want to tell you, I'm also going to teach you a group number called Warrior or something like that. But it's so awesome. It's hip hop. Those are my two favorites, and yeah, I'm just so exhausted. My dance schedule is so tight. Going to New York, going to LA, going to Hollywood, Chicago. Plus, I'm working on a movie next week, so I won't be able to chat with my friends all week for, for a few months. But we will for Thanksgiving because Fox Studios, is closed on Thanksgiving. But my movie comes out on my birthday, Monday. Yeah. I took a shower at 11ish. I changed into this Arizona crop top and a pair of jeans, and yeah. I wanted to go somewhere, but I forgot to tell my dad, so I have to see Dear Evan Hansen before it comes out of theaters. I know it's on demand, but I don't know if I can get the channel and watch it. And my phone won't allow me to download any more apps, so yeah. This has been the past couple of weeks because on October 1st, my grandmother passed away. And then that was on a Friday, so I was so emotional that I call work off because I go to my grandmother's house to get two outfits that she was there now, but we didn't see her because she was probably naked. And yeah, she's in a happy place. So she's with her youngest son, my Uncle Steve, who would have been 52. Sorry. And then she's also up in heaven with her husband. So hold on, I have the thing. Here it is. She didn't want a picture, but here it is. Her name was Ellen Evans Casey, and that's a pretty name. I saw her Thursday because my mom was very upset. She was crying on the phone, making a lot of calls to everybody, saying thanks for coming, thanks for all the prayers and condolences. And the thing is, when you're an adult, you plan your wedding, you plan your funeral. She already planned her funeral. She wanted pink carnations, and she wanted her casket to be chestnut wood or something, like a dark brown. Yeah, but my grandmother was born August 20th, 1934, and she died October 1st of this year. Not a great October for me, for my whole family, because the only survivors are me and my sister, which are Ellen's granddaughters. Let me tell you the survivors. The survivors are daughters Lucinda Casey, my mom, and Glenda, Casey, Blaze, my aunt, and Dan, my Uncle Dan. And the granddaughters are me and Grace. Yeah. So my grandmother was 87 when she died, yeah. Then we did a lot of stuff the day she died and yesterday. I mean, and the day after. But the the third, we get up very early because on October 3rd, I believe, was a visitation, and that was 5 to 7. So we stayed. It was starting to pour. So that was not a good week for us. And then October 4th was the funeral service part. Because it was at the Updike Funeral Home in Bedford. And sorry, I'm trying to hold my tears. And yeah, the visitation was on Sunday. Or no, I know what I did because I called Friday off, October 1st. Because I told them I was heartbroken, I can't come in today. But I told one of the managers at like Tyler that my grandmother passed. And then I worked on Saturday, and that was a hard day for me because I loved my grandmother. I just I wanted to stay with my mom for the whole day, but and then on the third we had to get up extremely early because today's my mom's boyfriend's birthday, and he's here spending the night. I don't know why. And he was one of the pallbearers. Sorry. And we had to get early, pick him up from his house. We stayed there for a few minutes. Then we arrived to the funeral home in Bedford because I don't know what to do. And sorry, my elbow is very itchy. Says my nose. It was it was supposed to be a closed casket because the family wanted to see her, what she looked like. And when we got home from the funeral, well, after the funeral service, after the graveside part, when the truck was about to bury my grandmother, we saw the truck pull up to the gravesite where my grandmother's casket was, and yeah. I'm sorry, very tired and very, like, not that sweaty. I'm not sweaty yet, but I will during the night. I gotta take my bra off. So yeah, when the truck came to bury my grandmother, we all left, and there's we had a lunch and dinner service. The food was so good because we went to Radford Baptist Church in Minnesota area, and me and my sister, basically, I never been in that church. My sister had once, I had once, but I never had in my entire life till October 4th. But the pastor, he was so amazing. The last time I saw him, I met him the first time of June 16th of 2015. That was the last time I saw the pastor. The pastor is Carl Hofheims. HOF is KRL, not CARL. Carl HOF, like Heinz ketchup. Hofheinz. That's his name, but he was so amazing. He did both my grandparents, but he didn't do it for my Uncle Steve, because his mother had to have surgery on that day. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm starting to get the hiccups now. I also have a bookmark. Same thing. Right here. There's the funeral stuff on the other side of the poem. It says, because the funeral started at 11, and when they were closing the casket, the 4 people mentioned that are the only survivors, except for my Uncle Dan, who has trouble walking, and he wears adult diapers because he has trouble. He has man problems. And he's grumpy, so yeah. I really don't. It's 11 o'clock. I'll go to bed soon. Yeah. I'm gonna read you this poem called Stairway to Paradise. Inspired by the beauty that each day tends to give, we set out on a journey to find how best to live. We walk by faith and not by sight. As step by step we climb upon this stairway upward towards heaven's paradise. The steps are sometimes difficult, but each day made complete. By treasured moments that we share in a promised place of peace. Finally, your steps ascend beyond the veil of life. Destiny unfolds in glory in heaven's paradise. So that means basically that my grandmother, on October 1st, my grandmother walked to heaven, walked the stairway to paradise, and she's pouring her love down on all of us. And every time when it rains, I know that Also, my cat is in heaven. He died too. But yeah, the thing is, after the service, I was trying to pick up my cat. And it was very terrible because he was so bony. Like, you could feel his rib cage, you could feel his heart, you could feel his spine, you could feel his collarbones, you could feel his butt bone. And yeah. But when we got home from my grandmother's funeral and the lunch service at Rapper Baptist Church, I picked him up halfway and I noticed a little blood. I noticed blood coming down his right cheek. I was like, Mom, you gotta call the vet ASAP because you gotta look in Joe's ear because it was so bloody in his ear and it was like dry blood on his cheek. And I just feel so bad for him. But now, then, but then on Friday, when my van picked me up in the morning, as we were leaving, my cat was at the end of the driveway. He was laying there. He can't hear because he couldn't hear because he had a tumor that was benign, so we didn't know if it was cancerous or not. But I don't know if the vet knows my cat died yet. So, because he goes back, he was supposed to go back on November 26th, I believe, which is the day after Thanksgiving, I think, and guess not. So, it was last week. I think it was last Friday night my cat died because it was very dark outside. It was like a 7, 8-ish, but it was getting dark. And between our picnic table and our tool shed, he's laying in a patch of grass. He's laying in grass. Well, it wasn't. It's not a patch. It's just grass, and straight in the middle. He was laying there. Then my sister said, "Wait a few minutes to let Joe in," and then she said, "Wait for 5 minutes to let Joe in," or for a couple minutes, and then we did. And we found him Saturday morning, which was a work day for me. I found him. I was looking for him because I thought I was starting to walk down the driveway because that's where he was Friday. I was like, my sister was like, "Did you see him?" I was like, "No." And then, so I mean, I was still in pajamas this day, but then I did go to work. I was sad. I had a bit of a bloody nose. I was not having a good day. Then my cat was laying on the water hose. He was stiff, but not that stiff. So I was like, we were all, me and Grace found him because my dad was on his way to take me to work. And uh, my mom was in, my mom was at grandma's house doing stuff, cleaning the house since we're soon going to move there. I don't know when. But, yeah. So I came in because we don't have a backyard. We have a side yard. And then my sister started crying because that's basically her cat. She named him. We had two cats. We had Jojo and we had Buckwheat. I named Buckwheat, but Buckwheat died several years ago. And I was sad. But he was so cute. It was a she. And I was like, I told my sister, you call Dad, I call Mom, and she's like, okay. My sister's like, okay, I will. She's starting to cry, so she's like, so when I was calling my mom wanted to put these blue disposable gloves on. So, I mean, I was about to. I only grabbed one glove. She's like, oh, my buddy. Because that's her buddy. She always laid on the couch with my mom. And, yeah. So then I was like, she's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, Mom. There's flies in his ear. The, he's not breathing. I can see from a distance here. And there's flies flying on and off him and stuff. He's like, well, she's like, well, put a glove on. Did you put a glove on and try to wake him up? I was like, Mom, no. If I have to send a picture to you, you'll know he's dead. So I didn't put a glove on because he might have had rabies, see kidney problems, and I knew Friday he wasn't gonna live. But Saturday it was Friday night he died, and so we're still grieving over him. And my mom wants a dog, but no. But you know what happened? What's stupid? So my aunt Glenda, but I call her aunt, me and my sister call her Aunt Gigi. So my aunt Gigi, my mom is like Jojo died. She was like, oh, I'm sorry, when you'll get another cat. So she's a crazy cat person, and she's not like catfish and cat pee at the same time. I will go. It's 11 something. I'm thirsty, and I'm going to bed. Good night.